Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Finally, the greatest secret of the Marineford battle will be revealed to all of you. The reason Kaido tried to go to the location, why Shanks stopped him, and how he did it. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, I think that among all the mysteries of One Piece, one of the most curious is Kaido's attempt to go to Marineford during the battle between Whitebeard and the Marines. At that moment, when everything was unfolding and the fate of the world was at stake, it was revealed that Kaido tried to make a move, but Shanks appeared and stopped him. However, Oda never explained exactly why Kaido did this. For someone who has no interest in alliances or helping other pirates, what did he really want there? Maybe the answer is tied to something much bigger than just the chaos of a great battle. Maybe Kaido was searching for a truth he came to believe, the return of Joy Boy. If we analyze Kaido's journey throughout the manga, we can see that he is not a traditional pirate. His goal was never simply to rule the seas or accumulate wealth. In chapter 795, when Oda finally shows Kaido, his first major line is not about domination or power, but about the idea of a great final battle that would change the world. He wants something that only Joy Boy could bring, an end to the current system. But what really led Kaido to believe in this legend? The answer may lie in King, his right-hand man, and the only remaining Lunarian we've seen so far. In chapter 1035, we see a flashback of Kaido and King in Punk Hazard. It was there that Kaido promised King that he would be the man capable of changing the world. But the most interesting part is that King mentions Joy Boy. He says that Kaido could be Joy Boy, and Kaido responds enigmatically. So, it's me, huh? This dialogue may seem simple, but it hides something deep. If King knew about Joy Boy, this means that the Lunarians had knowledge of this legend. And if they did, it is very likely that Kaido spent years trying to understand what it meant. If we consider that Kaido started his search for the truth a long time ago, it makes sense that he tried to move toward Marineford. In chapter 957, we learn that Kaido and Big Mom were together during the Rocks Crew era, a group that sought to challenge the government itself. What does this mean? That Kaido probably already knew the world was on the brink of a great change, and that this change involved the return of Joy Boy. And how could he confirm this? By going to the heart of the greatest tragedy of that moment. And here comes an important detail. In chapter 1001, Kaido speaks directly to Luffy. "You're one of those few who can face me." This line may seem like just a recognition of strength, but perhaps it's something more. Kaido has always searched for a worthy adversary, someone who could break the world's order. And what is Joy Boy, if not exactly that? A being who would bring about the rebirth of a new era. If Kaido was waiting for that moment, he might have believed that the great tragedy of Marineford was the sign he had been looking for. The idea that Joy Boy would return in the midst of a great event is not new. In chapter 972, Odin prophesies that within 20 years a great event would happen and bring the era of Joy Boy. If Kaido somehow knew about this prophecy, and it is very likely that he discovered it during his years of rule in Wano, he might have thought that Marineford was that event. Maybe he saw the signs. A colossal confrontation, the breaking of the sea's balance, and above all, the sacrifice of a legendary figure, Whitebeard. But then comes the question, why did Shanks stop him? Shanks' presence at the Marineford battle, and the way he stopped Kaido from advancing, not only highlights the knowledge he had about the currents of change that were about to unfold, but also illustrates a much larger game of chess between him and other powerful players in the world of One Piece. At first, it seemed like just another struggle for strength and territory, but now we can see that Shanks acted much more strategically than many imagined. On one hand, he was avoiding a battle at that moment, but on the other hand, he may have stopped Kaido from making a decision that would alter the course of history. As discussed earlier, Kaido was searching for something much greater than mere domination over the seas or a simple struggle for power. He wanted to bring an end to the system that governed the world, believing that the return of Joy Boy would be the event that triggered this change. When the great conflict at Marineford occurred, he saw an opportunity there. However, he didn't realize that this wasn't the event he was looking for. What Kaido didn't know, but Shanks did, was that the true rebirth of Joy Boy wouldn't happen at that moment. Shanks knew that the battle Kaido so desperately desired wasn't at Marineford, but in another, much more distant place, and that interference at that moment would only bring more destruction. What Shanks likely realized was that by allowing Kaido to engage in the Marineford battle, he would not only give the Emperor more power, but also fuel a cycle of chaos that could distance the true event that would change the world. Marineford was not the stage for Joy Boy's awakening, and Kaido, with his relentless pursuit of chaos and destruction, was not prepared to deal with the consequences of this truth. The fact that Shanks prevented Kaido from intervening at that moment wasn't just a demonstration of strength, but an action aimed at preserving what was to come. However, to fully understand Shanks' motivation, we need to look at what he knew. Shanks has a unique connection to the world, reflected in his interactions with the Gorosei and his attitudes attitudes toward other major players such as Kaido. Shanks' relationship with the Gorosei, seen in Chapter 907, suggests that he possesses privileged information about the events unfolding in the world. Additionally, his actions toward Luffy and other pirates indicate that he is aware of many of the secrets hidden deep within the sea. Therefore, it is plausible that he knew of Joy Boy's connection to Wano, which would explain his decision to prevent Kaido from getting involved in Marineford. If Kaido already had some inkling that the return of Joy Boy was near, he probably believed that the awakening of Joy Boy was something he would need to bring about through his own destruction. Kaido, with his chaotic worldview, believed that the final battle that would change the world would need to be marked by great tragedy. However, what he didn't know was that the true awakening of Joy Boy wouldn't require destruction, but liberation. The prophecy of Odin, which spoke of a great change that would happen in 20 years, didn't refer to a bloody battle, but to a rebirth, an awakening. And that's exactly what Shanks knew. When he intervened with Kaido, he knew that if the Emperor caused a great upheaval in Marineford, it would only delay the true change. He also knew that Kaido didn't fully understand what the return of Joy Boy meant. For Shanks, stopping Kaido from acting rashly wasn't just about avoiding great destruction at that moment, but also about ensuring that the right time for Joy Boy's awakening would come. The real reason Shanks didn't want Kaido to interfere in Marineford was tied to the fact that with Kaido present, the battle would become much more destructive and complex. Shanks knew that Kaido wouldn't understand the impact of his actions, and that his pursuit of destruction would only bring more chaos. But the biggest reason Shanks didn't want Kaido there was undoubtedly the battle itself. We know that Kaido is an incredibly strong being, and his presence would have completely altered the course of the conflict. It wasn't just about preventing Whitebeard's fall or avoiding a clash between the great powers. Shanks knew that if Kaido had gotten involved, the battle itself would have been even bloodier and more devastating, with unpredictable consequences for the future. Shanks then was a moderator of the situation. He prevented Kaido from taking actions that would undoubtedly prolong the era of disorder, delaying the arrival of the moment when Joy Boy would truly return. He was aware that if Kaido got directly involved, the outcome would be a battle that would only deepen the wounds in the world and slow the process of change. For Shanks, Joy Boy's awakening didn't depend on destruction, but on something much subtler and more complex. Moreover, Shanks knew that Kaido wasn't ready to comprehend the full extent of what Joy Boy's return meant. During the battle in Wano, Kaido faced a reality he couldn't understand: Luffy's awakening, which was finally revealed as the true Joy Boy. But Shanks, already aware of this, knew that it was still too early for Kaido to grasp the true nature of this awakening. Kaido himself, in his desperation for destruction, hadn't yet reached the necessary understanding to perceive the deep meaning of Joy Boy's return. He was so fixated on the idea that change could only come through battle and force that he couldn't understand that the true power of Joy Boy was something else. The main reason Shanks intervened was because he knew that the battle with Kaido would have much more catastrophic consequences than Kaido could imagine. He was, in a way, protecting the future, preventing Kaido from bringing the world to the brink of an even more devastating war. The true awakening of Joy Boy was coming, but it wasn't the right time yet. And Shanks, with his foresight, understood that in order for the world to have a chance to regenerate, it was necessary to prevent the great forces of chaos from uniting prematurely. Shanks didn't just prevent Kaido from acting impulsively, he also ensured that the right moment for Joy Boy's awakening would arrive without being corrupted by violence and destruction. He knew that if Kaido had gotten involved in Marineford, the world would have lost its chance to see Joy Boy's return in the right way. By doing this, Shanks not only ensured the course of history, but also made sure that the world was ready for the true change that was coming. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.